And Hawks win 2-1 over the Arizona Coyotes. Yes, your Chicago Blackhawks continue rolling on now a 3-game winning streak as they defeat the Arizona Coyotes 2-1 in regulation in the United Center. And this was a win that the Hawks should have and they got type of game. This was a game the Hawks needed to win and prove, yeah, they are not a dumpster fire. Coyotes, yeah, I would throw them in dumpster fire range. They've only won one game this season. The Hawks, though, they get the victory. They beat the Coyotes tonight. It may have been a low-scoring game. The Hawks, though, tonight had the scoring chances to beat Wedgwood, but they couldn't get more past him. They had a couple opportunities that hit posts. They had a couple that were kind of robbed, frankly, and a couple that they just had bad puck luck. The Hawks, though, they get the victory, and that's all it counts. That's what they needed. A victory to continue their win streak. But unfortunately, our next game's not until next Wednesday against the Seattle Kraken. So, the Hawks are off for a few days now. But this was a game that the Hawks needed. They needed to prove, yeah, we may be in a rough record to start the season, but we are better than this. And they did it tonight against a almost AHL level roster, but the Hawks did it. The Hawks win tonight, and it was a game, yeah, you want to win up front of your fans, and you want to get that victory. It's good to see how they managed to prevail. But first, let's talk about that broadcast tonight. That was horrendous. I'm not faulting the play-by-play, really. She did okay. Did better than the last guy who did an ESPN broadcast for the Blackhawks. But the broadcast tonight was, frankly, just flat out bad. It was not good. ESPN Plus clearly has to do some work. It was not a good broadcast, in my opinion. It was flat. It did not seem like they were doing a full play-by-play. They were just talking about how they wanted Jonathan Toews on the same line as Kane and DeBrincat. Well, if you look at the research, Kane, Toews, and DeBrincat really have not been on the same line ever. Whenever Toews is on the same line as Kane, that's usually a desperation time of games, late in action, and the Hawks are down. But the Hawks try to divvy out the lines, and that's what happens. And then also the play-by-play did mess up by calling Kubalik DeBrincat a few times, but whatever. But still, in my opinion, one of the worst broadcasts I've ever seen for a hockey game. It was not good. But frankly, let's not talk about that. This is a game that the Hawks won, and they did it well. They got the victory, beating the Coyotes. It may have been a low-scoring game, but they managed to prevail. So, let's look at the stats of the game. The Hawks have been usually good at the faceoff dot this year, but tonight, not so well. The Coyotes won 55% of the draws to the Hawks 45%. Not so good by the Chicago Blackhawks tonight at the dot, okay? That's okay, but Toews looked well at the dot, but that's about it. Then, at the power play, Hawks went 1 for 5, and the Coyotes went 1 for 3. Hawks have been great PK-wise this season, but letting in a power play goal against on the worst power play team in the NHL, that's kind of rough. Penalty minutes, as you heard, there were 5 power plays for the Hawks, and 3 for the Coyotes. It was 12-8. A lot of chippiness in this game, pretty much late in the second period, though. Block shots, 12-13 in favor for the Blackhawks. Shots on net per period, 7-5 in favor for the Coyotes in the first period. 6-15 in favor for your Chicago Blackhawks in the second period. And 10-9 in favor for the Coyotes in the third period. Total shots on net, 23-29 in favor for your Chicago Blackhawks. So let's get into the goals of the game. In the first period, no goals were scored, but the Hawks were controlling for probably the first 10, 12-ish minutes of play. Hawks were moving the puck well, getting their chances off, but for the last 8 minutes of play in the first period, the Coyotes held the Hawks to no shots on net. The Hawks at that point had a total of 5 shots on net in that first period, and all 5 shots came in like pretty much the first 12 minutes of play. And then the final 8, the Hawks couldn't get anything into the offensive zone. The Coyotes pressured, and then we go to the second period. Coyotes get off their edge. And at 5:26 in the second period, on a delay penalty, scored by number 12, Alex DeBrincat, his 8th of the season, assisted by number 88, Patrick Kane, and number 61, Riley Stillman. This goal was some controversy from the Coyotes. They thought the Coyotes had touched the puck to stop play. They did not. Hawks get the puck, take it up the rush. Kane gets it from Stillman and behind the net of the Hawks. Stillman gives it to Kane. Kane goes up through the neutral zone, sees DeBrincat on the opposite side, sauces it to the Cat, and Cat one-times it past Woodsburg of the Coyotes. And the Hawks are up 1-0. This was a nice goal. Their goalie was ticked after it went in, thinking the Coyotes could have had a stoppage of play for a power play to come for the Hawks. So the Coyotes challenge it. No, it was deemed good goal, and the Hawks are up 1-0. So we go on a power play. Nothing comes from it. The Coyotes get some opportunities. Hawks get a couple opportunities. But late in the second period, Dylan Strome did get a high sticking, made a double minor, and a Coyote went in and threw Stromer down to the ice. Cheap. Very cheap. And dirty. And the Hawks only were sent to the PK. The Coyotes just get a minor, and the Hawks were on a 5. Were now having to defend a 5-on-4. And that 5-on-4 goes into the third period. And in the third period, the Coyotes tie it 1:41 into the period. And this is by former Blackhawk Andrew Ladd on the power play for his 3rd of the season, assisted by Capianco and Lawson Krause. This goal from Ladd was a laser. He saw multiple screens up front of Fleury. Fleury had no chance to see it, and he puts it on a laser and beats Marc-Andre Fleury to go where the Coyotes tie it. So the Hawks are now in a standstill tied game with the Coyotes in the third period early. Hawks pressured and then get a power play midway through the third period. And this happens. Doc is off the ice because he's in the locker room for probably stitches. That's not from the penalty. He gets sent to the locker room. So the Hawks need a new bumper player in the power play, and they insert number 17, Dylan Strome, in at 9:26 on the power play in the third period. Scored by number 17, Dylan Strome. His first of the season. Assisted by number 88, Patrick Kane. And number 4, Seth Jones. To give the Hawks the 1-goal lead right back. And Stromer must have felt very happy getting a goal here because former coach Jeremy Colleton clearly hadn't lost any favor for Stromer. Stromer gets on the board, you could tell he's been gaining more trust from Derek King. King's been playing Strome every game since King's became a coach and the Hawks bench. So Strome gets credited with his first of this season, and he must have felt very happy. That celebration showed, yeah, he was relieved. So the Hawks now have a 2-1 lead. And, well, a 2-1 lead going late into this period. The Coyotes were pressuring. The Hawks were kind of caught on their heels late with about 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. The Coyotes were moving the puck well, getting their opportunities off, but they couldn't prevail. I should mention, though, Seth Jones did get sent to the box with about a minute remaining in regulation time. So the Coyotes pull their goalie to go 6-on-4 for a power play for about a minute. And the Hawks were battling hard on that PK and killed it. Alex DeBrincat gets the puck, tries to clear it down with a few seconds remaining in regulation time. It doesn't go into the net, but the Hawks kill it, and the Hawks win it 2-1 over the Arizona Coyotes. This is a type of victory this team needed. A regulation win, closely contested, and hard battled. And this is what the Hawks needed. And I feel like this team might feel the confidence now to keep rolling. This is the third win in a row, third game under Derek King, and they've been playing well. So, down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were from tonight's action between the Blackhawks and Coyotes, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, Hawks win!